Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we have a bit of a different and fun video as we are going to be simulating the entire career of Landon Dupont, one of the most exciting hockey prospects in recent years, and definitely that next player who could be in that generational tier of prospects. After becoming just the second player ever to receive exceptional status into the WHL, Dupont has already drawn comparisons to some of the game's elite offensive defensemen like Cale Makar, and it looks like he has all the tools to become the NHL's next superstar. And as a 2027 draft eligible, we'll be seeing him in the NHL not too far away. And this next year will be very important for NHL teams, as some of them, like they tanked for Bedard and Celebrini, may be tanking for Dupont. Now, unlike most career simulations you'll see on YouTube, we're not using the EA NHL games, we're using Hockey Legacy Manager 26. The reasons are pretty simple. It's a more realistic gameplay in my opinion. Teams generally manage the salary cap a lot better. Prospect development is a little bit different and I think more realistic. There's lots of added cool features. Trades and free agency are more believable, and the league just kind of evolves in a way that, feels a little bit closer to real life. I think it's a great game. This isn't sponsored by them. It's just a game I've been playing for a long time. If you want to check it out, you can buy it. And like most career sims, we won't be controlling anything. We will have zero control of any team. And every trade, draft pick, contract, everything is going to be up to the AI. So we might be sitting here watching Dupont be buried on the third pair, but there's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. And yeah, let's get right into it and let's see if Landon Dupont can live up to the incredible expectations surrounding him. Can he become a franchise defenseman and rack up Norris trophies? Or will his career take a completely unexpected path? Let's jump into the game and find out. And just showing you how it works, I'm creating the career right now, and there's a little option called Commissioner Mode, and then I now have active AI turned on for every single team. So all of these teams will make their own decisions in free agency, trades, lineup decisions, stuff like that. And I can go around and I can look at, the different teams' perspectives. But if you see me, it looks like I'm controlling the Seattle Kraken, for example. I'm not making any of the decisions. Okay, and here we are caught up to the 2027 draft lottery. This is how the game looks. I hope you can, see everything pretty well. Just like a quick look, like you can see Kempe led the league in goals. Him and Kaprizov tied at 61 goals, which is pretty cool. Kucherov leading the league in scoring with 137. Yeah, just pretty crazy. The only thing is that it started at the start of the 2026 season, so Tampa actually won the cup instead of Carolina this year, but Dallas won this year. But yeah, anyways, we go into the draft lottery, and let's just see prospects. Yes, Landon Dupont is the projected first overall pick. So let's go in. Philadelphia has the best odds, and they will get Landon Dupont. Wow. Pittsburgh drafting second overall, so that's a cool little storyline there. We go into the draft, and there he goes, Landon Dupont to the Philadelphia Flyers. There he is with his yellow franchise potential. If you're thinking in EA NHL terms, that's probably like high, or that's probably like medium franchise potential, I guess. There also goes to, where is it? Yeah, blue here as well, which is like the best. Green, yellow, and then the red ones. So he has, what does it say there, 65% chance of reaching his overall potential. So we'll see if he does that. But yeah, some crazy numbers in the WHL. Only had 68 points last season, but up to 106 this season, playing 28 minutes a night for Everett. Another important stat here is game score. This is, probably the most important stat you're looking at when how good a season a player actually had in this game. Points, plus minus, everything factors into that. So that'll be something to look at. But yeah, you can see his stats here. Just a very good offensive player. His health isn't that good, so hopefully he doesn't get injured too much. It also has his dad in here, which is pretty cool. He was an actual player as well. But yeah, like having the family connections in this game is really cool, because your franchise player, they might have a kid and then you can draft them 18 years later. Pretty awesome. But yeah, he starts as a 79 overall, and we will see how he does with the Philadelphia Flyers. So let's go to the next season and see how he does. Oh, and you can see here as well, he was on the World Juniors team 2 years in a row, so won a gold medal and a silver medal there, and also won the Offensive Defenseman of the Year in the WHL, which is pretty cool. Probably the best way to show you how the NHL went that season is this little screen that comes up at the end of every year. So you can see Dallas won the cup, and here's the little playoff bracket here. They beat the Habs in the final. The leaders in terms of scoring and points and all that, the goalies as well. And then the big trades, this is a cool feature. So Cale Makar went to the Islanders. Wow, that's a crazy trade. DeBrincat to the Oilers, Drake Batherson to Minnesota. Some of the biggest signings. Makar re-signed with the Islanders too with a huge contract. Quinn Hughes, huge contract. Yeah, wow, pretty cool stuff here. But let's sim to the first day of the 2027 season with the Flyers. Also, the simulation speed is way faster on here, which is pretty awesome. So let's look at the Flyers lineup. And where is he? Oh, so Landon Dupont will actually be starting the season in Everett. That's interesting. That's very interesting. He decided not to sign his ELC, I guess. I guess you could say, you know, he went back to college or something like that. I wish I could assign him to college. But anyways, he's up to an 82 overall to start the season. That's really good. Interesting that they didn't have him in the lineup because they definitely have room. He could play second pair right here on Josh Manchin's spot already. But you can see the team they have here. It's pretty weak, I'm not going to lie. Like Tippett, Konechny's their highest rated forward. Martone's here. He's a yellow elite potential player. He's going to be great. I don't even see Michkov here. Wonder what happened to Michkov. But Easton Cowan's a good player. But yeah, this is not a great team. Dupont will definitely need to be a big piece for them if they ever want to get out of the basement of the NHL anytime soon. But he's going to spend this season in juniors, which is maybe best for him. It's December 26th, and it's World Junior time, and Dupont will be playing at the World Juniors. You can see Sweden won last year, beating out Canada, so Dupont, maybe that's the big reason he wanted to go back to juniors, so he wasn't stuck in the NHL for the World Juniors. But yeah, he'll be playing first pair defense as easily the highest rated player, probably in the entire tournament. But he's got Alexei Joseph here as well. He was the 4th overall pick. He's going to be a big piece. And yeah, definitely going to want to try and get that gold medal. Sweden's team also looking pretty strong. Lots of draft eligibles for them this year though, so hopefully we can beat them. And yeah, pretty cool that he wanted to go back there. And Canada did win the championship, beating the US in the gold medal game, so good stuff there. This guy, Cameron Warren, was the MVP, 5th overall pick in the last draft. But Dupont had a great tournament, 12 points in 7 games. Look at that ice time, almost 28 minutes, was playing awesome. So yeah, that's definitely good to see. And yeah, hopefully that extra gold medal will motivate Dupont further into his career. Here we are at the draft lottery, and we'll see how the Flyers did this season. It definitely wasn't great. Konechny leading the team with 69 points, but yeah, you can see not very inspiring point totals from most of the team here. So Dupont will definitely have to be a big piece in that. They finished well outside the playoffs, just ahead of Pittsburgh in the Eastern Conference, and then yeah, 4th last in the NHL, so they'll be getting another high pick, hopefully a forward that can help with Dupont. And in the playoffs, the Islanders won the Stanley Cup, led by Cale Makar. Look at that top pair, Schaefer and Makar. That is an elite top pair there that led them to a Stanley Cup. Good stuff. But yeah, we're at the draft lottery here. The Flyers with the 4th best odds. And where are they? Oh, they fell to 6th overall. Look at that. Pittsburgh keeps the 1st overall pick, and their pick from Anaheim jumps 10 spots. So Pittsburgh will be selecting 1st and 2nd overall. That's not good for the Flyers. They have 12th overall as well, which is good. But that is definitely scary for the Metro for many years to come. In the draft, though, the Flyers got 2 good players. This guy, Zach Carbonneau, yellow elite at the 6th overall spot, a power forward. That could be a good forward for the future. And this guy as well, Hugo Altorn, 12th overall, also a yellow elite playmaker. Oh yeah, and that's another cool thing about HLM is that the draft picks have protection. So you can see Pittsburgh got Maddox Schultz first overall here, yellow elite or blue elite, but Anaheim must have had a top 10 protection on their pick because they actually got to select second overall. They got Liam Pugh, but yeah, I'm sure they'll have their next year's pick unprotected to Pittsburgh. Here's the little end of the season wrap up for you. Islanders winning the Stanley Cup, beating the Stars in the final. Cole Caulfield led the NHL with 61 goals. McDavid leading with 124 points. Austin Matthews to Los Angeles. Holy moly. Josh Morrissey to the Rangers. Fowler to the Devils. A lot of these big trades that happen are players who in the last year of their contract, not really with a contender, they get traded. And then, they give a big hat package. Depending on, they might not re-sign. Looks like Austin Matthews did resign. Did Josh Morrissey? Maybe he wasn't actually. But yeah, a lot of those, you'll see a lot of those pending UFAs get traded, which I think is pretty realistic for real life. Teams are not wanting to just give up their player in unrestricted free agency for nothing, so they trade him at the deadline. I think it makes sense. But yeah, some big deals there. 8/15 for Matthew Schaefer. We're at the first day of the 2028 NHL season, and there he is. Wow. Landon Dupont will be playing on the top pair as the team's highest overall defenseman already at an 87 overall at 19 years old. And yeah, he had a great season with Everett there. 94 points, playing 29 minutes a night. Holy man. He will be a big, big piece of this Flyers team if they want to get back into the playoffs. Yeah, won the Offensive Defenseman of the Year again. Got signed to his ELC. He's already the number 36th ranked defenseman by overall, which is pretty sick. This is another really cool feature here. You can say, oh wow, David Jiricek's up to a 90 overall. Cool. But yeah, you can see he's already a very, very good player up there with some great players. And yeah, he's going to be playing with Travis Sanheim on the top pair. The defense looks pretty solid there, actually. And the forwards, still pretty weak. No one above an 86 overall, but at least they look pretty deep there. That third line's pretty solid. Hopefully have some good players coming up in the system. Goaltending is definitely weak. I don't know who this guy is, Asayev, but he's the starting goalie. Was the starting goalie last year and was not very good at all. But yeah, this is definitely a Flyers team with hopefully a huge Landon Dupont rookie season. Hopefully a Calder winning season can get back into the playoff race. Another cool thing here is the 2028 World Cup of Hockey, and Landon Dupont is actually playing in it, which is pretty sick. Yeah, here he is on the second pair. He's up to a 90 overall already. Oh my gosh. I don't want to look at those point totals, don't want to spoil it. But look at this Team Canada team. Michael Hage there, Berkeley Catton. But, the rest of the faces you would expect. And yeah, this is going to be a very dangerous Team Canada. And yeah, hopefully they could have an absolutely huge World Cup and take some revenge for the Olympics. And Canada did win, and Dupont with, where was he? Yeah, 4 assists in 6 games, holding his own for sure, a +7, that's good to see. But yeah, Logan Thompson was the most valuable player, that's awesome. And yeah, oh man, it was deserved. Went 6-0 with a 947 save percentage. That's pretty incredible stuff. So good to see him get, a trophy in his trophy case there. But yeah, beating Finland in the gold medal game. Awesome stuff. And those are the little features I really love about HLM. The little things like that, like the World Juniors, the World Cup. That's the little stuff I like to see with HLM. But we are at the end of the season. Let's see how the Flyers did. And they did miss the playoffs by quite a lot already. An improvement on their last season. They had 79 points. But yeah, well outside the wildcard race. And league-wide, they finished 26th. So definitely some improvements. And hopefully they can continue to rocket their way up the standings. And in terms of player stats, look at that. 84 points for Landon Dupont in his first full NHL season. That's incredible. 12 goals, 72 assists. 72 assists, man. Incredible. A +8 playing 27 minutes per night as a rookie. Wow, he had to do some carrying on this lineup. 0.87 game score is incredible stuff as well. And yeah, on the rest of the team, oh man, look at Konechny. In the few seasons without Dupont there, 55 points, 69 points. He's up to 83 now that Landon Dupont's there. great season for him. Tippett had 43 goals, unlocking him as well. Cowan, 67. Sanheim as his defense partner at 52. Martone, he's up there as well. And yeah, he definitely wasn't a perfect season in Philadelphia, but hopefully good enough to get Dupont the Calder, and hopefully good enough to build on for the Flyers. In terms of rookies, oh man, it was not even close. You can lock in a Calder trophy for Landon Dupont, as the closest rookie was Sam Plant with 45 points. Pelosi there as well with 42. Yeah, but it's not even close. Landon Dupont with 84 points. And is he in the... Oh my gosh. He led all defensemen in points in his rookie year. Are you kidding me? What is going on? Shea Theodore got the closest with 78. Bunch of defensemen with 77 here, but a weak year for defensive scoring. Only one defenseman above point per game, and it's Landon Dupont. Wow, look at Schaefer and Makar down here at 69, 67 points. But Dupont said, no problem, that's easy for me. 84 points, I'll lead a defenseman in not only points, almost in ice time. A few defensemen had a few more minutes, but wow, that is incredible stuff. So Flyers missed the playoffs, but we are going to go to the award show to hopefully see Dupont pick up the first few awards of his very long career, hopefully first of many. And let's go to the award show, which is pretty fun. You get to see the finalists revealed, which is another thing I like about HLM. In the EA NHLs, you just see the winners at the end of the season, but Kaprizov, Tkachuk, Rantanen, and Rantanen comes out with the Hart Trophy. Cool. So I'll advance to the ones that have Dupont in them. Here we are at the Calder Trophy. You can see Dupont as an easy finalist there. Hunter Height with 39 points, Sam Plant with 45. But let's not kid ourselves. Your Calder winner is Landon Dupont for the 2029 Calder Memorial Trophy. Look at that incredible stat line there. And in HLM, or at least in the roster I'm using, it has two trophies. The Paul Coffey Trophy, which is for the best offensive defenseman, and then it has the Norris for the best defensive defenseman. But you look at the options here for best offensive, and it should be Landon Dupont picking up. And yes, the Paul Coffey Trophy 2029 to Landon Dupont. Incredible stuff there. And we look at the James Norris finalists. I'm curious for this, but I really like this. I think this is something the NHL should have already. But you see the options here. Seider, 92 defense to 87 offense. He's a defensive guy, but he's an amazing defensive defenseman. Levshinov, 92 defense. He's an incredible player. David Jiricek as well, 92. But yeah, this is another trophy that hopefully as Dupont grows, he can also be a big piece of. And yeah, he wins the 2029 David Jiricek. That's pretty cool. So you can see Dupont here with that incredible trophy case he stacked up this year. Signed his entry-level contract in the same year. Gold medal at the World Cup, Calder Memorial Trophy, and the Paul Coffey Trophy. This is just the start of a long and prosperous career for Landon Dupont. He's starting it off great. And at the draft lottery, with the 7th best odds are the Flyers. And yeah, you can see Anaheim finished here. Pittsburgh has their pick this year instead of last year. But we go there, and Anaheim's pick jumps up again. You have got to be kidding me. So Pittsburgh will be selecting 2nd and 4th overall. Oh my gosh. And yeah, you can see that pick was not protected this time because they got the unprotected pick. So Pittsburgh drops 2nd and 4th. Very unfortunate. With the Flyers pick at 7th overall, they get this guy, Julian Nome Donach. Interesting name, but just had a big year in the queue, a yellow elite player. They're stacking lots of good forwards, which is great to see. So that should be good stuff. Pittsburgh picks up Mandino. He's a real guy. Yeah, he's a real player. But yeah, green elite there. And at 4th overall, they get a yellow elite center as well. So Pittsburgh's building something scary as well. That's going to be a Metro rivalry. It's already a rivalry. It's going to get more intense as these two teams get better and better. Here's the little end of the season wrap up for you. Dallas with their 2nd cup in 3 years. The Rangers taking them all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Austin Matthews had the most goals at 63. This is another thing. There's another trophy in here called the Adam Oates Trophy, which goes to the player with the most assists. So Alex Turcotte got it this year. Pretty cool. McDavid and Matthews tied for the Art Ross. And for the big trades, Leonard and a few pieces to St. Louis. Danil Yurov, I assume he's a really good player in this universe. Brendan Brisson, not sure. These don't really feel like that big trades, to be honest. Look at these big contracts though. Bouchard, Heiskanen, Fox, Leo Carlson. They'd love to get him at that contract, wouldn't they? But yeah, going into the season, let's sim to the first day. And here we are at the first day of the 2029-30 season, and Dupont still at a 90 overall. That's no problem, though, and he will be playing on the top pair with Sanheim once again. Brett Liskey on this defense as well. It's another good piece for them. Their goaltending still is not very strong, Vladar being the starter and 80 overall, but connecting up to an 88, good to see. Tippett, this guy Zelenov, never heard of him, but he had his rookie season in Philadelphia or in Buffalo. Hopefully he can be a piece. And yeah, still a bit of a weaker forwards. But if we go to the Flyers, a trade value, yeah, you got this guy Altorn, who is up to a 76 already. He's playing over in Europe, and he'll be in the NHL soon. This guy, the guy they just drafted, Carbonneau, he's another good player for the future. And yeah, they just have a ton of those young forwards that will hopefully be big pieces. This young goalie as well, he's backing up this year, I believe. But he's a green starter, so hopefully he can be, the starting goalie of the future. And yeah, let's sim to the end of the season and see how this year goes for the Flyers. A better year in Philadelphia, but it wasn't quite enough as they finished 6th outside of the wild card race. 35, 39, and 8 record with 78 points. That's not going to do it for sure, but definitely seeing some improvement, and hopefully next season they can add some big pieces, get into that wildcard race. In the entire league, they finished 23rd, so again, small improvements. Pittsburgh's still at the basement, so at least you're not them. In terms of player stats, the Flyers themselves, Konechny led the team in points with 73. Good to see him having another good season. Nothing else too notable other than a bit of a down season for Landon Dupont. Hasn't gone up for 90 overall, but that's okay. But yeah, just a bit of a weird season from him. He was well into the minuses this season. Yeah, his game score went way down. It looks like he had some injuries. And yeah, he had an upper body injury that took him out. Oh, wait, no, that was for... Yeah, he had 2 minor injuries, fractured his hand, and then had an illness. So was out 5 weeks in total. And yeah, just a bit of a weird season overall, for sure. So not going to blame him too much for that, hopefully. But yeah, big things to come for the Flyers. No reason to panic. Still 45 points. Not the end of the world. Still led the team in defensive scoring. And league-wide, yeah, definitely won't be in any Norris conversations this year for scoring. But that's all good. Yeah, you can see Lane Hudson here had 101 points. So, yeah, last year was a bit of a weird year, and Dupont took advantage. He's going to have to be consistently excellent to really live up to those Paul Coffey, those Norris votes. And by the way, here you can see like the family. Like you can see Lane's brother Lars and Quinn. He's playing, and Cole, of course. He's a great player. Yeah, I love the little things like that. That's why I like this game so much. To the draft lottery, and the Flyers have the 10th best odds. Edmonton finished dead last, but Detroit has their pick. Wow, there's a lot of crazy picks trading in the top of the NHL here. Pittsburgh 2nd overall again. Man, they are terrible. And Detroit keeps the 1st overall pick. Wonder if this one is conditional. But yeah, we stay at 10th overall. Go into the draft. And it's not conditional. Edmonton gave up an unconditional 1st round pick that ended up being 1st overall, which ended up being a Gallo elite player. Brutal. Flyers got this guy Jack Leibowitz, who is a yellow top 6 forward, center from Kingston, who can hopefully be, a good middle 6, top 6 center for the future. But yeah, just continued growth for the Philadelphia Flyers will be very important as they try and push for the playoffs next year, hopefully. And this little end of the season recap, it was Carolina and Chicago in the final. So Carolina winning the Stanley Cup for making up to not actually winning this one, a bit of right in the world. Jason Robertson led with 64 goals. Lane Hudson had the most assists. Rantanen with the most points. Boldy to Chicago for Frendell 1st and a prospect. Wow. Matthew Tkachuk to Anaheim. Liam Pugh going back. He was the 2nd overall pick. Barkov to Boston. Some crazy trades this year. Yeah, some crazy contracts as well. Wow. First day of the new season, and I'm not gonna lie, this team is not very inspiring. I don't know who's managing this team, but they lucked into Landon Dupont, have done nothing else. But Christian Dvorak is your first line center. That is rough. 82 overall. Still got Konechny and Tippett there, but we lost Martone somehow. You search him up. That's another cool thing you can do. Porter Martone is now a Minnesota Wild, 89 overall, and he was just left in free agency for nothing. Maybe it's something I'm doing. I'm not touching anything, but maybe they're not like signing their contracts correctly or something like that. I'll sim from a different team's perspective and see if it gets better. But that is a brutal, brutal loss of a guy who would be your best forward right now. So Dupont will have to be doing some even harder carrying. You got Jaden Kurtz here. He was out of high school. He's a little prospect from a real life prospect for the Ducks who turned into a solid NHLer. But yeah, that's brutal. Hopefully I didn't screw up Dupont's career really badly. Yeah, because Michkov left for nothing as well. That's so strange. Not sure what the heck is going on, but I'll be fixing that hopefully. Yeah, for this season I'll sim from Buffalo's perspective. But let's see how the season goes from the Flyers and what they do at the trade deadline, stuff like that, to hopefully push them into playoff contention. And yeah, it was a terrible season in Philadelphia as they finished dead last in the NHL. Man, I hope I didn't screw anything up too badly. But yeah, dead last in the Eastern Conference and dead last in the NHL by a long shot. Oh my god, by 8 points. Going to the player stats, and another bit of an injury-riddled season for Landon Dupont. Konechny and Tippett, they've been solid players. But Dupont, 52 points in 70 games, 74, yeah. Playing big ice time again. But yeah, he had a back injury that kept him out for 3 weeks. And you see his potential goes down to yellow elite potential. Now, this is not the end of the world. If you know Hockey Legacy Manager, the potential varies quite a bit. And he's already at a 90 overall. So I'd say his chances of getting back up to franchise are pretty decent. But we will see what happens. But yeah, 52 points, 10 goals is nice. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully the Flyers build around him because this is getting bad. Into the draft lottery, the Flyers have the best odds, and of course they dropped 2 spots because that's very Philadelphia. Toronto with the first overall pick, and let's see what the Flyers do with their pick. Liam Tepp, first overall, franchise. Ooh, they get a blue elite guy though. That's the 95%. Yeah, 95% chance of reaching the maximum overall. So the Flyers get a great piece there in Harley George, who from Erie, a center to a forward. That's going to be a huge piece of their future. Here's the little recap for the season. Chicago won the Stanley Cup, beating the Capitals in the finals. Connor Bedard led the NHL with 65 goals. Rantanen, been an incredible player in this universe, 134 points for the Art Ross. Matthew Knies goes to Chicago. Brent Clark to Boston. Nathan McKinnon to Ottawa. Are you kidding me? Oh, and look at that. Landon Dupont signs his contract extension. 8 years at 11.675. That's a great deal for Landon Dupont in this universe. Obviously not the crazy contracts we're having in real life right now. But yeah, that's a great contract. And yeah, you see Martone here. Sucks that they lost him. I hope that wasn't my fault. But let's see how the Flyers are looking at the start of the season. And there is definitely some improvement here in some ways, as Owen Tippett's still there. Mason McTavish is the first line center. You know what? That's not the end of the world. At least they did something. He's been pretty solid for St. Louis the past few seasons. Konechny, Forrester, Horvat, Lysell. Carbonneau makes the NHL. He's the yellow elite. He's been good. Zaka and Hoglander. Matvey Gridin, one of my favorite players in the real life NHL. He joined the Flyers halfway through last year, claimed on waivers. So yeah, good to see they're doing stuff. Hall, Marcus Nordmark, he's a top 6 guy as well. Claimed on waivers, so that was a great little waiver claim there. Pajustov. Landon Dupont's defense pair will be Sam Dickinson, who hasn't had the career he probably hoped to, but still will be an important part of the team. And this guy in net now, Yunnan, Stuart Skinner's there as well. And you can see already Dupont's back up to that franchise potential, so we should be seeing him grow in overall this year, hopefully. But yeah, sign that big contract to take him for the rest of the time. No trade protection on it, which is interesting. You can see the trade protection there. For example, on Dickinson, he's got a modified no trade clause, so interesting. But yeah, we will see how this season goes for the Flyers. I have big hopes for them, and I think they should definitely finish outside of the basement of the NHL and hopefully get closer to the playoffs after taking a big step back last season. It was another step forward for the Flyers as they finished with a 37, 39, and 6 record, 80 points, pretty solid, and only 6 points off of the wildcard race. So after a few weird seasons there, they're back into it. League-wide, they finished 24th, and again, I think they'll take a big step next season as well. The player stats, Travis Konecny with 86 points. Strange to see Dupont not doing as well, man. Up to a 92 overall now, but 58 points. Couldn't match the magic from his rookie year. And yeah, you can see the game score just has never gotten close. But I think with a good team around him, he's going to have a bright future. But definitely, after that first season, we thought, oh man, this guy's the next Bobby Orr. Hasn't lived up to that quite yet. Still a very good player, don't get me wrong. Still well worth that contract he signed. But yeah, it will be interesting to see where his career goes from here. Very interesting. But yeah, some other bright stories on this lineup. Dickinson was solid. Nordmark was solid. He's up to an 86 now. He's a big part. They brought in Pavel Zacha. McTavish had a solid season on the first line. There's definitely things to be excited about here. Like Carbonneau, 25 points in a bit of an injury-riddled season, but he's an 84 overall now. Could be the first line center next year. Definitely things to be excited about in Philadelphia. And hopefully this is the last year we actually care about the draft lottery. You can see the Flyers have the 9th best odds there. And they stay at 9. Not the end of the world. And I accidentally left the draft, but you can go back and look at the draft history, which is pretty cool. And at 9th overall, okay. Barry Walton from the UK. Played in Windsor this year, a yellow elite player. Very interesting draft pick there. 62 overall, so he's got a long way to go. Oh man, look at this. A green franchise defenseman going at 2nd overall to the Oilers. Ugh. But that's pretty rough. But yeah, that's another really cool feature. You can say, oh, let's look back at the 2028 draft. Okay, let's look at the 2027 one. So the guy who went 2nd overall to Pittsburgh, he's been terrible. He's dropped to yellow top 9 potential, not doing anything in the NHL. Dupont up at 92. You can see this guy 89. Like Privlov never lived up to his potential. Preventure, he's still got the elite potential, but he's never there. But yeah, Dupont should... Oh, he's not even... Oh, yeah, Pelosi leading the draft class in points. Yeah, he had 93. But yeah, just kind of interesting to look back like that. Another cool part. And we'll look at the end to see who the best player from the draft class was as well. Will be interesting. But let's sim to the start of next season and see if the Flyers can continue to improve to hopefully make the playoffs for the first time in Landon Dupont's career so far. Your end of the season recap, and Dallas wins their 2nd cup in 4 years, and I believe they won this cup too. Yeah, they did. So 3 cups so far in this franchise for Dallas, beating Detroit in the final. Connor Bedard with 67 goals leading the NHL. Him and Boldy, dynamic duo though, both of them 130 points. Rasmus Dahlin was traded to the Devils. Interesting. Jake Sanderson to the Columbus. Brendan Hagel to Boston. You can see some big contracts signed there as well. And yeah, very interesting. To the start of the regular season we go. And, okay, some big changes here. Oh, look at this guy, Tobias Tomik. Very interesting. Oh, he signed an offer sheet. Oh, cool. Yeah, I was just controlling the Flames, and, it said I got an offer sheet. I didn't do anything. I let the computer decide who it was, but very interesting. So they signed him to a 1-year, $8.1 million deal. He's an 87 overall. He played with Columbus, but was traded to Calgary for Gabriel and a first. Very interesting. Love to see these little storylines, but he's a good player as well. 2026 draftee. So yeah, he'll be a big part of the Flyers here. 87 overall. Nordmark playing on the top line. McTavish. Forrester, Konecny. Where'd Tippett go? Lost Tippett. But this team's definitely looking improved. You got to admit. Jack Hextall, Flames prospect in real life. He signed with them as well. Interesting. Carbonneau. Still got that yellow elite potential, so he should grow throughout the year. Valentini there as well. So this forward core is definitely looking better. You got like 82s on the 3rd line. Like it's not ideal, still needs a few more stars, but hopefully we're getting there. On the defensive side of things, Dupont has his best partner yet in Philip Broberg. Very cool, who was signed to a 6-year, $10.7 million deal. That's a lot. But he's shown he can be a very solid point producer and is better defensively as well. So hopefully that can unlock Landon Dupont, who's up to a 94 overall. And you can see his attributes here. I don't really know too much about this, but you can train them. I just left it to auto, but he's got a few extra boosts to his passing, defensive awareness, stuff like that. Yeah, he's 94 across the board, ranked as the number 3 defenseman now, behind Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar only, and one ahead of Matthew Schaefer. Oh man, crazy stuff there. But yeah, after a few disappointing seasons, I think that this is where we expect Landon Dupont to really break out. He won a silver medal with the World Cup team, by the way. Let's see how he did there. 1 assist, solid. But yeah, definitely going to be a big season for Landon Dupont, as he will be the absolute leader in changing this team and bringing them to the playoffs for the first time in his career. And you can see these numbers are much improved as well, their overall numbers, and they're as retooling status instead of rebuilding. So definitely getting better. So let's see how this season goes. And you will never believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Would you look at that? The Flyers have made the playoffs. 2nd spot in the Metro, 98 points. Awesome stuff from Philadelphia as they make the playoffs, and Pittsburgh is still in the basement of the NHL. Yeah, 8th best team in the NHL this year, so what a huge step they took. In terms of player stats, who was leading the charge? Marcus Nordmark, 45 goals, a waiver claim to now an 86 overall, 45 goal man, leading the team in points. Tomik was a great addition as well, as he had 30 goals, 77 points. Carbonneau, big season from him. He's up to an 88. Started the season at 84. He's in an 88. Probably worked his way up to the top line. 76 points from him. He's a huge part of the future. And Landon Dupont, he's back. 72 points in 70 games. 27 minutes per night. A workhorse as always, but look at that game score. Best game score of his career so far. Even in his first amazing season, he was even better this year. Better plus minus, better hits and shots and all that stuff like that. But yeah, still at a 94 overall, but what an amazing season for him. He will miss the first few games of the playoffs though. 24 out of 46 days. So fractured his finger, out for a month. That is tragic. So yeah, will definitely be a big addition for them. They traded for Pavel Dorofeyev halfway through the year, giving up this guy. He was the 7th overall pick. Yeah, he was yellow elite, down to yellow top 6. They give up on him now, which might be the right decision, honestly, in a 2nd rounder as well. So hopefully that's a good trade for them. For Dorofeyev, Broberg was really good as well. But yeah, really great season from the Flyers. They are back. And yeah, heading into this first round series with the New Jersey Devils. Let's see how they do. And this is pretty incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Down 3-0. Won 3 games in a row. So we will go to game 7. Let's go into the play-by-play. Let's see how it does. You can see the time clicking down here at the top. First period, no scoring. Second period, Terrence opens up the scoring for the Devils. Oh man, come on. This would be such a cool story. He sure makes it 2-0. I think the dream might be too far-fetched. Yeah. Going into the third, down 2-0. Carbonneau, okay, back within 1. Big goal from Zach Carbonneau, the yellow elite, future first line center. Pavel Dorofeyev ties it up, assisted by Tomik, who's now got 7 assists already. Marcus Nordmark, 3-2 late. Will it be enough? And it will be. Holy man. 3-2 win for the Flyers. Look, the Dustin Wolf is the new goaltender of the Flyers. Are you kidding me? Wow, what a great ad that was. Goaltending was such a problem for so long, so they get the 2nd best goaltender in the NHL. Hopefully don't lose him in free agency, but yeah, great ad there. What did they trade for him? Harley George. Oh, he was the 3rd overall blue elite. Oh, he wasn't advancing as well. So they're going all in, pushing in all these former high draft pick forwards who aren't turning out. Interesting. But yeah, Dustin Wolf, what an addition. Yeah, you look at the team now, and this is great. Dupont missed the entire first round of the playoffs. Hopefully he'll be back for some of the second round, but they got Low Rye there now. They traded for him at the deadline, trading up Lafreniere, this guy, a few less important prospects. But yeah, that's another great addition as well. Yeah, this team is just looking so much better. Look at that top 9. They brought in Saleh as well. Ooh, and Alhorn's up to an 82 overall. He was the guy who's the 12th overall pick. It took a better time, but he's there as well. Bright future. And yeah, we're in the second round of the playoffs, man. The bright present as well. Let's see how they do in this second round against playing the Montreal Canadiens in the second round. Wow, this is going to be a difficult series. They've been a very good team in this franchise mode. Down 3-1 after the first 4 games. Let's hop into this one. I'll just sim it. And okay, we take it 6-4. Good stuff. Landon Dupont leading the way with 3 assists. He is fully back. This was probably his first game back, actually. So down 3-1 in the series. We stay alive for another day. Back in Montreal for game 6. And the Flyers take it. 2 goals in the first period take us all the way. And we are going to game 7 on this miracle run for Philadelphia. In game 7 in Philadelphia, Landon Dupont opens the scoring 27 seconds into the game with his first goal of the postseason. He has been absolutely crucial for this team since he came back. They couldn't have done it without him. Going into the second period, Alex Command ties it up at 1. Broberg with an assist from Dupont. Man, Dupont has been incredible in this run so far since he came back from injury. 2-1 heading into the third period. Can they hold on? And they can. A 2-1 win. Dustin Wolf at the first star, but Dupont with the goal and the assist. And wow, on to the conference finals for Landon Dupont and his Flyers. Playing the Detroit Red Wings, which are another good team in this franchise mode. Let's see how it goes. Down 3-1 again, heading to game 5. But you've done this before in game 5. And yeah, the Detroit Red Wings end it with Connor McDavid on the team. Are you kidding me? Wow. And Elias Pettersson. Wow, this Red Wings team is crazy. So unfortunate there, but the Red Wings take it. Defeat the Philadelphia Flyers in 5 games in the Eastern Conference Final. But what a season from the Flyers, finally making their way to the top of the NHL. Take a look at the awards. The Red Wings ended up winning the Stanley Cup, so pretty cool. And yeah, it's the first season in a while where we might have some award winners. Not seeing anything yet, though. Pasternak with 77 goals. Paul Coffey went to Cale Makar with 86. So Dupont could have been there if he wasn't injured the last end of the season there. Unfortunate, but what can you do? Hopefully next season will be something to build on even more for Landon Dupont and his Flyers. And hey, we don't even have to care about the draft lottery this year, so we'll just sim all the way to next year and see how the Flyers change over the offseason. And yeah, you can see Detroit ended up being the Stars in the final, so that's one of the best teams in this franchise mode, Dallas, man. But yeah, the Flyers made it all the way to the conference finals. Pasternak with his 77 goals there. Bedard and Boldy, the best duo in the NHL. Genther went to the Maple Leafs, that big trade for Dustin Wolf that the Flyers made. And yeah, some big contracts as well. And Dustin Wolf does re-up with the Flyers. Excellent, excellent news. Huge money, but good news there. And let's look at the Flyers to start the 2023 season. Just best lines there. And looking much the same, but still very, very strong here. Nordmark, he led the team in goals last year and points. He's going to start on the third line, apparently. But Altorn, he's into the NHL lineup at an 86 overall. Good to see. Dorofeyev, Carbonneau, Tamik makes a really good top line. Yeah, the bottom 6 looks really strong there as well. Broberg and Dupont on the top pair is dynamic. And yeah, goaltending really strong with Dustin Wolf there as well. And we've seen throughout the season they're willing to make those big moves, those big trades. And yeah, they're as an elite team now, up to an 88, 87, 87. This is one of the best teams in the NHL. And yeah, this will be very interesting to see how they do this season. I'm really looking forward to it. At the end of the season here, and the Flyers were incredible, winning the Metro Division with 112 points, 54, 24, and 4. Oh man, and in the NHL, second to only Montreal. But yeah, they were amazing. Easily had the least amount of goals allowed in the NHL. One of the best power plays. Yeah, they were awesome. And we look at the player stats, and come on, go to the Flyers. Landon Dupont leads the team in scoring again. Guess who's back? It's the best player on the team, Landon Dupont, finally leading the team as he deserves to. 82 points, and yeah, that amazing game score. Hopefully that leads him to maybe some Norris Trophy votes, maybe some Paul Coffey votes. We'll see. But staying at that 94 overall, he is everything he was promised to be, and he's finally, with a good team around him, is fully unlocked. Dorofeyev with 40 goals. He signed a big contract as well. Altorn, in his full rookie season, he's going to be definitely getting some Calder votes. Carbonneau was point per game, just got injured. Unfortunate. Tomik was awesome as well. Yeah, this is just a great team all around, and they traded for Thomas Harley. Are you kidding me? Wow, this team is all in. Trading Avery, who is a 4th round pick and a 1st, so that's a pretty great deal for Thomas Harley. But yeah, let's see how they did in the context of the entire NHL. Bedard and Boldy at the top again. Are you kidding me? Caleb Malhotra leading with the St. Louis Blues. In terms of defense, and it was Hudson with 90 points. Dahlin up there as well. This guy, how do you pronounce that name? 2028. Interesting. But yeah, he had 87 points. Incredible stuff. But Dupont was definitely up there in the upper echelon of the NHL. Probably won't get the Paul Coffey, but can maybe get some Norris votes as he is such a high overall. And in terms of rookies, oh wow, Altorn has some competition. This guy Svante Forsman was great with the Blues this season as an 87 overall, but we'll see if Altorn gets some votes. And yeah, will be very interesting. But we're going into the playoffs now. What other changes do they make to the lineup? I'm not seeing anything too much on the forward side, but yeah, Harley up there as well. So now you got Harley, Dupont, Broberg, Dickinson, and Heinz Kurtz. So that's excellent. And they brought in Jet Greaves as the backup too. I don't know why they traded for him. I guess just like if the price is right, you might as well get one of the best backups in the league. Interesting. But yeah, let's go into the playoffs. They were playing the Washington Capitals, and let's see how this goes. Down 3-0 again. Are you kidding me? But they won game 4. They're back in it. Let's see how they do here. And overtime, Andrew Cristall. So the Capitals get it done in 5 games. Very unfortunate there, but I mean, Harley was out. It was, I don't know, it was a bit of weird season, but a fantastic regular season, and now they can start to build on that with playoff growth. Dupont has 6 points in 5 games, so not going to complain there. But yeah, let's go to the awards. Let's see what they did. For the Calder vote here, we have these 3 finalists. Definitely not going to be this all-good guy here, but we got Forsman and Altorn. Pretty similar stats. Hopefully, can he take it home? Oh, and it is Forsman. So unfortunate that 1 extra point won it for him. But it was a great season from Altorn as well, and he's another big piece of the future. And unfortunately, Dupont was not a James Norris finalist. It goes to Levchinov, who he's got 93 defense, man. So Dupont can hopefully be a big contender for those in the future. All right, here is your end of the season wrap up. Detroit wins the Stanley Cup again. Dallas and Detroit, man. Best 2 teams in this franchise so far for sure. Bedard, 68 goals. Lane Hudson leading the assist category. He won the Paul Coffey as well. And Bedard and Boldy continuing to be that dynamic duo. Lacombe going to the Blues. Harley to Philadelphia. We saw that one. Logan Cooley to Detroit as well. Look at that big Lane Hudson contract. And yeah, we'll see how the Flyers build on this season, where they were great, yes, but they also lost in the first round, disappointingly, so we'll see what they can do to make up for it. And the Flyers lineup, looking at it, and it's looking strong again. We got Normark, Carbonneau, Altorn's on the top line. This guy Walton, oh yeah, he's the elite. He's doing great. Wow, drafted as a 62, and he's already up to an 84. Great stuff there. Forrester still there. This Murata guy. Yeah, looking very, very good here. Broberg, Dupont still there. Lost a little bit of the defensive depth, but still looking good. Dobesh, also the goalie there. Traded Dorofeyev, which is interesting. Yeah, Dorofeyev here. Traded for a 3rd round pick. So yeah, he fell off hard. 33 years old, down to an 85 overall. So didn't want to afford that contract apparently, which is understandable. But yeah, for the Flyers, still looking like a pretty good team. I'd like to see them definitely, hopefully make some trades throughout the season. And they lost Harley too. Couldn't get him signed to a contract. That's definitely unfortunate. So they're definitely not looking as elite as we thought they would, but still got a decent prospect pool, hopefully, and, you know, hopefully have a few more good years. at the top of their lineup there. But yeah, Landon Dupont, 25 years old now, and yeah, he's had a few good years here. Flyers finally look like a very competent team. He's still got 5 more years left on his deal, so yeah, he's going to see how much they continue to be strong. They just won the first game of the season, 8-1, that I accidentally simulated. So looking good. Hopefully they continue that throughout the entire year, and yeah, we'll see how the season goes for the Flyers. Here we are at the end of the season and looking at the Flyers and another big season from them. Let's look at the team standings. Winning the Metro once again, dominating the Metro. Islanders made the playoffs at 86 points. This was a pretty weak Metro division this year, apparently. Simmed an extra few days because some teams were done. But yeah, 109 points. Huge season for them. Also winning the Eastern Conference, finishing 3rd in the NHL. Blackhawks were dominant. Oh my goodness. But yeah, in terms of player stats, Bedard winning the NHL again. Halltorn 71 points, Nordmark 70. Bit of a down season from Dupont, but nothing crazy. He's got a bit of an injury he's fighting through yet again. But he was a plus 38 this season, still putting up those huge numbers and good game scores. So nothing too worrying there. What another gold medal, by the way. But yeah, 94 overall. He's probably going to stay at that for now. His health rating continues to go down. It's worrying. Hopefully that health rating doesn't rob him of an amazing career. But still a very good season for him. Carbonneau was good as well. Yeah, a bit lower on the scoring than you would have thought, but winning the Eastern Conference, can't complain too much. And going into the entire NHL for defense, don't think Dupont will be up there. But you know, he's not that far off. 67 points. Dahlin winning with 85 this year. So definitely not the end of the world. And the top defensemen are getting older and older. So hopefully he can be that guy for them. But yeah, let's go into the playoffs, facing the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. Winning the first 2 games, but losing the next 2 in overtime. Heading to Game 5 here in Philadelphia. They win 4-3. That's good to see. And can they clean it up in 6 games in Carolina, or will they force 7? So they clean it up in 6 games. Landon Dupont returns from injury, which is good. Broberg out for a while is definitely unfortunate, but will have to stay strong as they are facing the New Jersey Devils in the second round. This should be a good series, so let's see how it goes. 3 of the first 4 games going to the Devils. Can the Flyers fight back in Pennsylvania for Game 5 and a 4-1 win for sure? 2 assists from Landon Dupont as the first star. In New Jersey for Game 6, and they take it. Unfortunately, Dupont had a goal, but Jack Hughes too strong, and the Flyers again out in the second round. A strong regular season, fairly strong playoffs, but definitely looking to take that next step. Little end of the season recap here again, and Detroit making 4 straight Stanley Cup finals. My Calgary Flames take it this time. Good to see. 70 goals from Bedard. And Bedard, you can assume Boldy would be up in the points as well. But yeah, Bedard just running away with it this season. Daniil Boot to Calgary. Gavin McKenna to Florida. Oh my goodness. And a few other trades here. This guy, Callahan, ended up winning the James Norris, so he maybe robbed it from Dupont, who I thought had a real chance this season. But yeah, let's see how the Flyers look going into the 2035-36 season. Last season, I said they need to improve their defense, and they did. They bring in Albert Schmitz, who is, one of the strongest defensemen in the NHL. Added him at the deadline last year for a prospect and a first-round pick. So that's a good deal. He's locked on to a contract long-term as well. Spent his entire career in New York so far, but will be a very important piece of this Flyers team. Broberg and Dickinson are still there, so a very strong team here as well. The forward group just needs to be a little bit better, I will say. Walton, I thought he was going to grow in overall after last year. Hopefully he can continue to grow. Other than that, I just need another big piece up forward, but this is still a very good team, and I think they have a good chance to, once again, win the Metro, win the East, hopefully go far into the playoffs this time. And I'd really like to see a huge season from Dupont. He's the #1 rated defenseman now, no one else at 94. And yeah, I'd really love to see him. He's locked in that franchise potential. Don't need to worry about that anymore. And yeah, let's just hope to see him really dominate this season like he did in his first NHL season and carry this team not only in the regular season, but into the playoffs as well. The season is over as well, and the Flyers were pretty good yet again, not winning the East or anything, but second in the Metro, and in the entire league were 5th place. Very, very solid there. In terms of player stats, and Landon Dupont is back leading the team in points with 80 points in 82 games. A very strong season from Dupont. 27 minutes. This guy is such a minute muncher, 27 average over his career. And yeah, his best year yet in terms of game score, tied with this season. But yeah, excellent stuff from Dupont. And yeah, he is maybe going to be a contender for some awards. We'll see. Altorn there as well. Tomik, Charbonneau, and Saleh. Smits had a good season on the top pair as well, 56 points. Like to see a little bit more offense just from the forwards. They just need the more forwards, I think. But going into the entire NHL, defenseman, Boyum with 90 points. Looks like he's probably going to win the Paul Coffey. But Lacombe and Dupont's there, man. He's probably going to be a finalist, which is good to see. We'll see if he gets any James Norris votes. But let's head into the playoffs here, playing the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. Win the first 3 games of this series, drop game 4 in overtime, but can they take the series in 5 games in Philadelphia? They can't. They lose 5-1. Oh no, this isn't good. Game 6 in Carolina, and they take it 5-0. No problem. Big game for Dupont, 2 assists as he had 8 points in 6 first round games. Yeah, doesn't look like they made any big acquisitions throughout the year. Actually, Malte Gustafsson here, that's a big addition. They traded for him at the deadline for a first and a second round pick. Jeez, that's a big ask, but that's a good player for them. Continues their very strong defense there. Second round playing the Devils again. A bit of a rivalry growing here. And they lose in 4 games, get swept by the New Jersey Devils. To be fair, that was a very strong Devils team. The Devils ended up being your Stanley Cup winner over the Blackhawks, so not the end of the world that we lost to them, but definitely want to get over that hump, man. Celebrini with 140 points. Look at this Bedard and Boldy duo, man. They are incredible. Leo Carlson to Carolina, Edvinsson to New Jersey, Willander to Utah. Matthew Schaefer gets another big contract. Yeah, interesting stuff. Heading into Landon Dupont's prime, I guess you could say. I think for the Flyers so far, it's been a little bit disappointing, I will say. The first few years of Dupont's career were pretty terrible, honestly. The Flyers were just plagued by terrible management, but now they're definitely a consistent playoff team, a consistent, very, very good playoff team, but just need to get over that hump and add a scoring forward. So let's see if they did this offseason. And it doesn't really look like it, but this is still a good looking team again. Yeah, that top 6, it's quite solid. I'll give it to him. Walton up to elite potential, so he's going to grow throughout the year, we think. And the defense looks strong again. Smith's 88 overall. Wolf still in net at an 86. This is a very good team, and I expect them to be very good again. I just hope they add another top 6 forward at the deadline. Just saying, Leo Carlson would look really, really good on this team. Another season in the books for the Flyers, and just in the playoffs. Definitely got close this year, only 91 points. Yeah, beating out the Penguins for that playoff spot. That's good to see. In terms of player stats, Altorn has been a really solid player for them. Consistent 70-point guy. Yeah, very good stuff. He's been awesome. Dupont puts up 70 points this year. Still just not getting into that upper echelon, but obviously insanely good. 28 minutes per night. He's being relied on to do everything on this team, and he's still carrying them. So it's not like his career has been disappointing so far. It's just we saw so much in that first season. 84 points, winning the Paul Coffey, but we just haven't seen him hit that point total yet. But obviously, need to build a better team around him. He's doing pretty good considering the team he's got right now. And Walton did grow throughout the year up to an 89 overall, man. That is a huge addition, though. And I think that will really push them into the playoffs, having a true number 1 center and having, a really, really solid top 9 as well now. Doesn't look like Dupont will be too high on the Norris votes or anything, but you never know. But let's get into the playoffs, where it will be definitely going in as the underdog for the first time in a while here against the Washington Capitals. And we sweep them in the first round. Oh, man. Crazy stuff there. 8 points from Landon Dupont in the 4-game sweep. Just shows how special of a player he can be when he is truly on his game. Playing the Devils in the second round here. This is a big rivalry series for us, for sure. In the first 2 games here, lose 1 in overtime, win 1, heading back to heading back to Philadelphia, lose both games, unfortunately, down 3-1. Let's see if we can make some magic happen. And a 3-2 win to start. Okay, a Landon Dupont assist. Good stuff. 3-2 in Philadelphia. Hanging on for dear life. And we get it done in overtime. Malte Gustafsson, the free agent, or the trade addition, and heading to Game 7. Huge game here for Landon Dupont to get back into the conference finals. Altorn opens up the scoring, assisted by Dupont, and that will be the only scoring of the first period. Heading into the second period here, Schneider and Kasper back-to-back goals very quickly to make it 2-1 Devils. Nordmark gets one back, though. We're all tied up heading into the last few minutes of the second and into the third now. Leading in shots, Coronado makes it 3-2 for the Devils. Can we strike back quickly? Silayev makes it 4-2, and that might be it as we count down the minute. Yeah, Luke Hughes power play goal, 5-2. And it looks like the Flyers' run is over again. Yeah, they just keep piling on the goals in the third period here. Losing in the second round again. Sweeping in the first round was awesome, but Dupont only 3 points in that second round series. Unfortunate, but, not the end of the world. Flyers still have lots of room to grow and build, but yeah, definitely a bit of a disappointing result this season. And I didn't even go into it because I didn't really think to check the awards, but look at this. Landon Dupont wins the James Norris Memorial Trophy for Best Defensive Defenseman. And yeah, look at that. Dominated by these Chicago defensemen the last few years. But Landon Dupont, awesome stuff. I think it's determined by Corsi for percentage. I think so. But that's good to see. Drafted as this elite offensive defenseman, but, he's grown to 6'1", 200 pounds, and now he's a very solid defensive presence as well. That's awesome stuff. Your results from the season, the Devils win the Stanley Cup again, so, yeah, losing to the Stanley Cup champion 2 years in a row, not the end of the world. Celebrini with the most goals and most points by a long shot. Hage going to the Capitals, a few other trades here, McQueen to the Maple Leafs. And yeah, let's see how the Flyers improved over the offseason after a few disappointing seasons in a row. It seems like they were really finding their groove, but could never get that playoff result. But hopefully, with all these contracts coming up, it's going to be tough, but hopefully they can build a strong team. And looking at the lineup, and it looks pretty good. They finally got that star forward in Walton. What a great draft pick that was at 9th overall. He has been awesome, 92 overall and 45 points. He's going to blow that out of the water this season as the number 3 ranked center. Incredible. Carbonneau and Altorn still there. Nordmark, Saleh. The bottom 6 looks a little bit rough, I will say, but the defense is looking strong. Dupont has a weird injury for some reason, but Smits, Gustafsson, still a very good team here, and they even brought back Cam York. That's cool. But yeah, Dustin Wolf, not the starting goalie anymore. He's been a real trooper for them. Looks like a potential Vezina finalist a few seasons, but this guy Lessier will be leading the way this season. His first full season as a starter. We'll see how he does. But yeah, this looks like a scary team again, man, especially with Dupont there, and now he has a real star forward to support him. I think this is going to be a good season for the Flyers, but we'll see how it goes. At the end of the season here for the Flyers, and they finish outside the playoff race for the first time in a long time. Penguins making the playoffs there, but yeah, outside the last wild card spot, only 2 points off, but I mean, it wasn't a very strong wild card race. They should have been easily in there. Unfortunate to see. Altorn was great, Walton was great, Carbonneau was good, Dupont was good. I mean, they had 3 players with 70 points and above. Man, I can't believe it. I don't know why. I don't know what happened this season. Must have been the goaltending was really weak. Yeah, 892 and 884. Terrible goaltending was definitely the big problem here. But DuPont with a good season, oh man. Unfortunate. That really could have been the year, I think. Easy wild card race to get into. In terms of D scoring, DuPont wasn't that far off, but guys like Lev Shinov, Rudolph definitely still at the top. And yeah, for the first time in a while, no playoffs for the Philadelphia Flyers. Injuries just killed them at the end of the year because look how weak their bottom 6 is here, all 78 overalls. And yeah, just very, very unfortunate here. Their defense still remains really strong, but they need an overhaul of that forward core. DuPont now with 2 years left on his contract. Actually, only 1 year left on his contract, so he's eligible for an extension now. Spent his entire career in Philly, and he's had some individual awards. He's a consistent 70-point plus defenseman now, but You know, he hasn't been able to find that next level in his own game and in the team's game. He's been carrying this team for a while. They finally found some star forwards, but they kind of sacrificed it in terms of the cap for, you know, their other players, their depth not being as good. Is this the place where Landon Dupont has the most success in his career? I think we're going to find out pretty soon, but we'll see how the Flyers do in this offseason to try and convince him to stay. The St. Louis Blues take home the Stanley Cup this season, so good to see some turnover in the NHL after we had a dominant few years though. No changes at the top of the goal scoring. Connor Bedard again, Nye's up there as well. Wyatt Cullen leading the NHL in points this season. Good to see there. Few trades, not really anyone I really know. And yeah, we're getting it to the point where, you know, we don't know a lot of these names. It's interesting. But let's see how the Flyers did. And you know what? I thought the Flyers needed to improve their depth, and they did. They brought in this guy named Coleman, Wilmot, and Karamaki as well. That third line is much improved. Could still be a little bit better, so maybe they go out and add someone at the deadline. But the defense is still looking strong. You got Walton, a really good top line there. Landon Dupont, of course, into the final year of his contract. Will, you know, keep tabs on whether he extends as well. And Slazinski is their goalie, who was claimed on waivers by the Penguins and had a great career as, you know, a goalie there. 922 as more of a backup last year in Pittsburgh, so we'll see how he holds up as a starter for us this season. Dupont at 29 years old, by the way. Holy, crazy stuff. It says we're a contender, so I believe them. Let's try and get it done. In this season, I will be keeping an eye on whether Dupont extends, because if he's not extended by the trade deadline, man, he might be traded. That happens all the time in HLM, so we'll see what the Flyers decide to do. Here we are at the trade deadline, and let's check in with how the Flyers are doing. They're first in the NHL, so can't complain with that. Oh my goodness. Landon Dupont there, sitting at point per game and has not extended yet though, so I don't think they'll be trading him going into the deadline, but I guess you never know. The rest of the team looking fantastic though. We pull up the stats. Yeah, that top line well above point per game. The bottom six, you know, improved on last year as well. Smits is doing well on the top pair. Slazinski, excellent in net. Yeah, this team is clicking right now, firing on all cylinders. Best team in the NHL by, you know, 3 points. Yeah, they're doing very well. So let's see what they do at the deadline here. No Dupont trade, no extension either, but good to see. Checking the trade history here. Flyers. What did they do at the deadline here? March 1st, 2039. Traded for this guy, Frollo, a bottom sixer. Nice. This guy also a bottom sixer, 84 overall. This guy also a bottom six. Ooh, not even a bottom sixer. This guy's a great player. So giving up a lot of assets here, but they are going all in. Look at this lineup now, man. That fourth line was the big weakness. Now they are a great forward core. Their defense is strong as ever. The goaltending is clicking. This could be the year. They needed to convince Landon Dupont to stay. They are an excellent team. I think they have a real chance to. And that is the year over with, and a huge year for the Flyers as they finish with 116 points, leading the Metro. Third in the NHL, though, tied with Utah, 2 points below Chicago. So kind of unfortunate there, but still, what a season from the Flyers. Player leaders, Walton, wow, what a season from him. 52 goals, 96 points. True first line center there. Altorn, excellent as well. He is such a consistent player here, this guy. 12th overall pick. He has been an excellent Flyer. And yeah, definitely some great players here. Charbonneau, big season for him as well. Career high. Landon Dupont, 81 points. Can't complain with that, man. Playing 28-35. Are you kidding me? Above 1.0 game score for the first time in his career. So it was the best year of his career so far. We'll see if it leads to any awards. But yeah, the bottom six scoring as well. Very good. Like 40 points and above. All of these guys. Awesome stuff. We'll check in terms of league scoring really quickly before we get into the playoffs. And Landon Dupont leads the way. This could be the season. Hudson played a few less games, so maybe they give it to him based on point per game. But he will definitely be a finalist, and we'll go check out those awards very soon for sure. Awesome to see. But yeah, let's head into the playoffs here. Facing the Ottawa Senators in the first round. Sim the first two games, a win and a loss. 2 wins, and can we get it done in game 5 here in Philadelphia? And we can with a 4-1 win. Good to see. So that is a 5-game series win, 7 points in those 5 games, but doesn't matter. Facing the Islanders now. This is a team with Cale Makar and Matthew Schaefer still, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. Oh, no more Cale Makar on the second pair. But still, an amazing team here, amazing defense. Islanders have been one of the best teams in this franchise mode so far. So first 2 games, 2 wins. Game 3, we pick up a loss. Game 4, a win, and can we take it in Game 5 in Philadelphia? And we can with another 4-1 win. So 2 5-game series. Dupont leading the way with 10 points in 10 games, heading off to the conference final and facing the Montreal Canadiens, who have also been a great team in this franchise mode. First 2 games, 2 wins. Incredible stuff. Losing in overtime in Game 3, winning in Game 4. Can we take the 3rd series in a row in Game 5? And we don't. 4-2 win for the Habs this time, but it's okay. In Montreal, can we get it done in Game 6? We can't. We're heading to Game 7. Oh my gosh, this is intense. Game 7 in Philadelphia. Let's go. To go to the Stanley Cup final, Dupont needs to come up big. Slavkovsky opens the scoring. That's not the way they want to start. Can they tie it up before the end of the first? Demidov with his 14th goal of the postseason. 2-0 after the first period here. Come on, Philly. Let's do it. Tomek back within 1. Power play goal assisted by Dupont as well. Ihanak, or whatever his name is, for the Habs, make it 3-1. Moran back, and Walton ties it before the end of the 3rd period. Another Dupont assist, and we are tied heading into the 3rd period. Moran opens the scoring in the 3rd period. 4-3 Flyers. Time is ticking down. Can they hold on? And another goal from Nordmark, and the Flyers are going to the Stanley Cup final for the first time in Landon Dupont's career. Incredible stuff. He's leading the way with 16 points. Him and Smits both in 17 games. And they are going to the Stanley Cup final to face off against the San Jose Sharks. Oh my goodness. Let's do it. Heading into the calendar sim here. First 2 games, 2 wins. And Game 3, a loss. Game 4 will sim it as well. Another loss. Game 5 in Philadelphia. This is a huge game to take lead of the series. The Sharks take it 3-2. In San Jose, 3-2 series lead for San Jose. Can they get it done? Helenus opens up the scoring for the Sharks. Walton ties it up quickly. And this is a huge game, the biggest game of Landon Dupont's career. How will he show up against another one of the league's best talents in Macklin Celebrini? He's going to have to be better. Celebrini scores 2 goals in the first period to make it 3-1 Sharks. So, Dupont, we need an answer from you, and we need it now, man. Walton, assisted by Dupont. That's a good start. 3-2 for the Sharks still, though. Need one more. Charbonneau gets it done. Walton might be the star of this team, man. 3 points already in a 3-3 game. Heading into the 3rd period, Will Smith gives them the lead. Oh, man. 4-3. Come on, we need goals now. Tomek ties it up at 4-4. This is so intense. 14 minutes left. Altorn. Oh, my gosh. Walton assists for his 4th point of the game, and it's 5-4 Flyers. Can they hold on? And they can. Oh my goodness. Walton 4 points in an incredibly crucial Game 6 that was so hard fought. And now Game 7 in Philadelphia. Let's do it. Landon Dupont, this is your legacy. Come on. And no scoring. Oh, Cutter Gauthier opens up the scoring late in the 1st period. Going into the 2nd one here, Cutter Gauthier, but Landon Dupont with his first goal in a while, and Altorn ties it up. Lots of time left to go in the 2nd period. Lots of quick scoring there. Altorn, and it's 3-2 for the Flyers. Walton has been incredible. He's got 3 more points in this game. Likely the Conn Smythe winner. 3-2. Time winding down. Macklin Celebrini ties it up with 2 minutes to go. Are you kidding me? Into overtime in the Stanley Cup Game 7. First overtime with nothing. Alexis Lafreniere wins it 4-3 in overtime in Game 7 for the San Jose Sharks. Wow. Macklin Celebrini ties it with 2 minutes left. Lafreniere scores to win it. Game 7 overtime. So close. But Dupont and the Flyers can't get it done. Wow, what a story. Again, just not to spend too much time on the little stories here, but Liam Pugh, a Hart Trophy finalist for Florida. Remember, he was the guy who they traded the protected first-round pick. It was second overall. Anaheim got it, but they traded him in a big package for Matthew Tkachuk, who had some really good years in Anaheim, but never as good as Liam Pugh here, who 107 points as a dynamic duo with Gavin McKenna. And he does win the Hart Trophy, so that's a cool little story there. And Macklin Celebrini does take home the Conn Smythe, which is very deserving considering he tied the game. And of course had 38 points in 26 games. What a stud. I completely missed this, but apparently Walton is a one-time Selke Trophy winner and is a finalist again here. So we'll see. And he does. So he's a two-time Selke Trophy winner. So a 96-point scorer and a Selke Trophy winner. Amazing stuff. But anyways, here's the Paul Coffey Trophy here. Schaefer, Hudson, both at 80, Landon Dupont at 81. Can Dupont pick up the second Paul Coffey of his career? And he can. The first since his rookie season, now 10 years into his career. Huge for him. And going into the James Norris here too, I wouldn't be surprised to see him as a finalist, and he is a one-time winner. Cote won it last year, I believe. Yes, 37-38. He's a very good defenseman. And Pete Callahan, a two-time winner as well. 3 past winners. And Cote gets it again, but still a great season from Landon Dupont. Just hurts to be so close yet so far away. But anyways, Landon Dupont, we're going to see if they can get an extension done by July 1st. If not, he might be hitting free agency here. After a great season in Philadelphia, but 1 goal short, 1 shot short. We'll see what Landon Dupont decides to do and whether he still thinks he can win it here in Philadelphia. Here on July 30th, and he does get a contract done. 7 more years at $24.45 million. Wow, what a contract for Landon Dupont. A full no movement clause all the way through, taking him to age 35. So he is a Flyer almost for life. And yeah, we'll see how they can do around that, because Albert Smits, does he need a contract? Yeah, he needs a contract. He's a UFA. He's been a great partner the past 4 years for DuPont. So we'll see. They got so many big contracts on this team. We'll see who they can keep around and if they can keep all their depth. Your little recap here. The Sharks win the Stanley Cup. Flyers went all the way, but not there. And I think you've seen most of these as well. In terms of trades, Pelosi has been great. Martone, look at that package he netted him. That was a big loss. But yeah, Dupont signing easily the biggest contract of the offseason. And we'll see how the Flyers manage to keep their depth with these big contracts to Walton, Dupont, etc. And looking at the team, and they do keep Albert Smits. Wow. Oh, he was in the last year of a UFA contract this year. Okay, that makes sense. So he's a UFA at the end of the year. But yeah, again, the depth just isn't really there. They went all in last season. Now Coleman, a guy who was probably on like the 4th line last season, he's going to need to play big minutes. Yeah, we'll see if around the deadline they try and get all of that depth added back as well. But this is definitely a weaker team heading into this year, and we'll see how well they hold up with Elliott as the new goalie, a high starter. Hasn't played in the NHL much, but will be relied on. Here we are, and the Flyers made the playoffs once again, not in the dominant fashion like they did last year, but 97 points, very respectful. We'll be playing the Capitals in the first round there. They weren't that far outside of the wildcard race. We're definitely in there, but 11th in the NHL, definitely fine. In terms of the player stats, Walton was great again. Dupont, a bit of a down season, I'm not going to lie, 57 points. Not sure where it all went wrong this season, but yeah, way lower game score this year. Didn't really have the defensive or the offensive numbers, so I don't know, just got that big contract, maybe taking a year off or something like that. But no, don't want to say that. Definitely a bit of a down year for the offense in total. Walton really had to carry this year, but I don't know, maybe Dupont was going through some injuries or something. They weren't really able to address their depth too much at the deadline either. And the goaltending was, Slodzinski was pretty good as the backup. Don't know why he wasn't playing more. Anyways, we'll get into the playoffs here, playing the Capitals in the first round. Dropped the first game, but won the next 3. Can we get it done in Game 5? And we can't. 5-4. Close one there. Game 6 in Philadelphia. And we can't get it done. In overtime, Landon Dupont, that would have been a cool goal, sending them to the second round. In 6 games, he had 12 points in 6 games. So did Walton. Wow, he is a first-round demon, but needs to be better later into the playoffs, apparently. But it's a good thing he's got a good chance to this year. Playing against the Islanders again, this is becoming a pretty big rivalry. Won the first game, lost the next 2, won the next one. So in Long Island for Game 5, and the Islanders take it. So going to have to win here at home in Game 6. Let's get it going. Fugelberg opens up the scoring for the Islanders. Pavel Fugelberg, interesting player name there. Drabic, Dominic Drabic. Schaefer putting up big assist numbers there. How will you respond, Dupont? It's 3-0 in the first period. Let's go back to the locker room. You're the leader in the room. Get it done. It's 4-0. Holy moly. It's 4-0 now. That is brutal. Terrible first period for the Flyers. Hanging on for dear life. They can't get anything going. Getting outshot. Not generating anything. And Altorn gets one late, but that is a sad way to go out for Landon Dupont. He needs to be better past round 1. Started with, 4 points in 6 games in round 2. Not good enough. Not good enough. Walton picks up his 3rd Selke trophy in a row, so truly one of the best defensive players in the NHL we've seen in a while. First year of Dupont's contract, not ideal, but we'll see how they can improve through the offseason. A bit of a weird transitional year there as they had to sign some big contracts, but hopefully increasing salary cap, they can find some room and put together another true contending team. Colorado wins the Stanley Cup this year. The Islanders went all the way to the final, so that's cool. Pugh with 65 goals again. What a player he's become. Celebrating 126 points, just dominating the NHL. Last year's Art Ross winner going to the Flames. Some big contracts there. Is that Sergei Ovechkin's son? I think he's in the game. So, love to follow those late storylines like Wayne Gretzky's son, what's his name? Tatum Gretzky Johnson. He's had some hardware in this franchise mode as well, so I love the little stories like that. It's always awesome. But let's see how the Flyers did during the offseason. And still looking pretty solid on the forward corps there in the top 6, but unfortunately the bottom 6 is so weak. Bringing back McTavish after a while away from the organization. But the entire bottom 6, 78 or 77. Defense still looking strong. They signed Smits, I guess. Huge contract for Albert Smits. Dupont down to a 93. I don't know. Is he starting to get up there in age? Kind of worrying. But we'll see how he does this season. Overall, doesn't seem to matter too much as long as you're upper echelon there. But definitely a weaker team here. We'll see. They still should be a playoff team, but maybe it's kind of winding down here in Philadelphia as those big contracts are really hampering them. At the end of the 2041 season, and the Flyers have missed the playoffs, definitely heading down. We kind of knew that looking at the team, but that is definitely a disappointing result. Well outside the playoffs, and in the league they finished 25th. Oh man, reminding me of the early DuPont Flyers. Walton, incredible again. What a pickup he was. 61 goals. Are you kidding me? Going to be a Selke Trophy finalist as well, I'm sure. Altorn, what a fantastic player he's been as well. 90 points. But Dupont, 72. Solid bounce back. Playing 29 minutes a night. What more can this guy do, man? They're relying on their stars too much, though. They can't do it. They can't do it alone. And you look at this lineup, you can't blame them having a 78 overall playing in the top 6, man. Too many big contracts handed out, like Sam Dickinson making $8 million. Wallin making 13.75. You just can't do it like that. So, kind of dug this grave for themselves. But for the first time in a while, no playoffs. And we'll be looking at the draft lottery. No Selke Trophy from Walton either this year. Monette took it. So definitely a down season in the Philadelphia Flyers organization. And headed to the draft lottery here, the Flyers have the 8th best odds. And of course, they drop down 1 to 9. And at the draft, they pick this guy, Grenier, top 6. Definitely need to restock the pool there after some years of absolute ignorance to the prospect pool in terms of just getting some cheap depth to go on deep runs. And man, it was almost worth it, but now they're really paying the price. Avalanche win a Stanley Cup again as well. They've been good at those last few years. 74 goals for Connor Bedard. Celebrini leading the league in points. Cale Makar-type going to Ottawa. He's been a great player. Oh, the Flyers traded away Carbonneau at the deadline. I was thinking we're missing someone in the top 6. Why is the 78 overall playing? But they got a whole bunch of assets for him. So maybe going down a bit of a rebuild here. That's interesting for sure. He signed a big contract with Washington. We definitely couldn't afford. Into the 2041-42 season, and this team is weak, man. I think they might be a rebuilding team at this point. The bottom 6 looks a little bit better. Is there any guys with potential there? No, not really. This isn't really a young team either. Landon Dupont at 32 years old now, winding down his career. Maybe he asks out for a trade soon. He's got 5 more years left on his deal. Still playing with Smits, but now the bottom 4 defensemen are weaker. Top 6 is getting a little bit weaker as well. The depth has slightly improved this season, but I think they'd be lucky to make the playoffs again. Unfortunate to see, but, you know, Dupont, he had some good years, but looks like his career is coming down to a close unless they can really make some big moves this season. I'll be keeping an eye on the trade deadlines from now on as well, just to see if he is traded. Even though he has the no-move clause, I believe he can waive it if he wants to go out. I've seen it happen before. End of the season here, and the Flyers are back in the playoffs. Added a bit at the deadline, I saw, because I was looking if Dupont was traded. They added a few depth pieces, so hopefully they can go on a run. Second in the Metro, playing the Islanders in the first round, and 10th in the NHL, so solid season from them. Altorn leading the way with 96 points. What a player this guy is. So consistently in the 70s, 80s, now has 2 90-point seasons in a row. Walton, also incredible goal scorer and defensive player. Tomik, Dupont down to 66 points. It's not ideal. He's, slowing down a little bit in his career. He just keeps having to play more and more minutes, though. Just the defense getting weaker and weaker there is definitely wearing on him for sure. Wallin was good, though. Tomik had his first good season in a while. He's been a long-term Flyer and had his best season. But yeah, definitely a bit of a transitional period, but they still made the playoffs pretty easily. And yeah, they added like Juracek, Valentini. Yeah, they're looking a little bit better heading into the postseason here, so we can see if they make some noise. If they want to, they need Walton and Dupont being the absolute superstars that they are. Split the first 2 games on Long Island here. Won Game 5, so can we take it in Game 6? And we can with a 3-0 shutout with a Landon Dupont assist. And yet again, 7 points in 6 games for Landon Dupont in the first round. He's good in the first round, but let's see if he can prove it past that heading into this second round series against probably the Capitals. No, the Sabres. So let's see what they can do against the Buffalo Sabres here. The first 4 games, 2 wins, 2 losses, splitting again. Game 5 is a loss, so they need to win here in Buffalo in Game 6. We'll sim it, and yeah, it's a 4-0 win for the Sabres, and they lose in the second round again, and Dupont isn't good enough in the second round. Man, bit of a playoff choke this man, I gotta say. Walton won another Selke trophy, which is good to see. And yeah, look at this Lavoie guy just tearing up the awards now, winning Norris's and Coffees all over the place. The Ottawa Senators were your Stanley Cup champion. Good to see some new faces, lots of turnover in the NHL. Cale Makar-type ended up winning the Art Ross, and some big trades here. The Jackson Jacobson 3-team trade. That's cool. Deneau going to Washington. 2 rivals trading there. Flyers, again, looking a little bit weaker this year. The defense looking strong as well, with Dupont still at that 93 overall range, with 4 more years left on his big contract. Walton's still there. Altorn's still there. The big pieces are still there, but Tomik's starting to, wear down. And the bottom 6, it looks a little bit better this time around, but still definitely could be stronger. Going to need Elliott to be very strong in net. He's been a bit not a very good starter in his career so far. So don't know why they brought him on, but they need him to be better. End of the season now, and the worst season the Flyers have had in a long time, with well outside of the playoff race, only 77 points and 25th in the NHL. Absolutely terrible, but despite that, the individual scoring was incredible as Walton put up 49 points, but Landon Dupont, 92 points, the best season of his career so far, finally breaking that 90-point mark. And what an incredible season he had. He's going to be definitely a contender for the Coffee. At 33 years old, not really showing any signs of slowing down, even though the team around him was rough. Really solid scoring, actually. 3 guys above 70 points. I guess the depth just wasn't good enough. But looking at all defense across the NHL, Smits struggled with injury this season, but he that definitely contributed as well. But Dupont, 3 points above the next closest guy, so should be getting a coffee trophy there. We'll definitely see. But yeah, no playoffs for the Flyers, unfortunately. Cool little story here as Sergei Ovechkin, Alexander's son, wins his first Maurice Rocket Richard trophy. First of many, I'm sure. His brother Ilya Ovechkin, also 23 years old in the NHL. Both of them first overall picks, so pretty cool there. And Landon Dupont will be a finalist for the Adam Oates. I was wondering about this. 78 assists, and that should get him the Adam Oates trophy. So another different, unique trophy to add to his trophy case. Adding a cool trophy there. The Selke trophy here, we'll see if Walton... I don't know, I feel like I'm focusing on Walton as much as I am Dupont in this little franchise, or this little career sim, trying to focus more on Dupont, but Walton in a really cool story. British guy, 5-time Selke winner. But yeah, Paul Coffey trophy. Lavoie had 89, but Dupont with 92 should be the winner here, and that would be his third Paul Coffey trophy, and he does get it done. So the 3-time Paul Coffey trophy winner. And for the James Norris, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a finalist here as well. Motin, Coates, and Leask. Okay, so he's not going to get that one, but still very cool. And for the draft lottery, 8th best odds for Philadelphia, and they jump up to first overall. So finally get some lottery luck in this universe. And at the first overall pick, they select, Elias Olsson, offensive defenseman, yellow franchise potential. So that's going to be a huge addition for the Flyers. A player who can hopefully be Dupont's, defensive pairing for the rest of Dupont's career for sure. And then he can take over from Dupont and lead the Flyers into the future. Wow, what a story that is. A left-handed defenseman too. Absolutely ideal. We'll see if he slots into the team next season. Ottawa gets their second cup in a row. Utah's been, good the past few years as well, but yeah, Landon Dupont leading the league in assists, Sergei Ovechkin in goals and points. A few big trades here from a bunch of players we just don't know at this point, so kind of getting to that point in the career sim where he's getting pretty old, but we'll see how much juice Landon Dupont has left in him as we get to the first game of the Flyers season. How is the lineup looking? Still pretty solid, actually. Walton, and Altorn still there. The middle six, bottom six, it looks, definitely a little bit of a weakness, but stronger than it has in past years. Dupont still the 92 overall that he is, definitely getting up there in age, so we'll see how hard he starts to fall off in the next few years. But coming off a career best season, can't doubt him at all. Albert Smith's also there as well. It is an 86, and yeah, we'll see how this team does. They're not bad. This is better than I thought they would look after those last few years of being really, really rough. And Olsen's in the lineup too. I was looking for him, I can't find him. He's on the right side, I'm not sure why, but by the end of the season, he could be 88 overall and playing on the first pair as well. He's already in 83, which is incredible, so we'll see how his development impacts Dupont's career as well. At the end of the 2044 season, and the Flyers make the playoffs again pretty comfortably, although they are in a wildcard spot. 92 points, 5 above the Hurricanes in the second spot. And yeah, pretty good season for the Flyers there. Better than I thought, to be honest. I thought they might have missed the playoffs. Got Hedberg here. They just traded for him. Oh yeah, he was a piece in the Charbonneau trade, which, okay, interesting piece coming back as well. Their depth is decimated, 79 overalls and below, even a 79 overall up here with Tomik out, but the defense still looking strong. Olsen up to an 85. I thought he would be a little bit higher, but he had a good rookie season. In terms of stats, Walton, consistent as it gets as a 90-point guy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons in a row. But Landon Dupont, he's the big story here. 76 points, another solid season from him. And yeah, he was good. We'll see if he's in the running for any awards. Still at 92 overall as well. And I just realized missing a pretty important player here in Altorn, who's moving on to the New York Rangers. Oh man, I thought he was going to be a Flyer for life, but 69 points, that's a big loss, man. They still made the playoffs, but why are we trading him? He 30 points in 21 games with the Rangers. He was incredible. So big loss there. One of Dupont's longest tenured teammates moving on as the Flyers continue to do a little bit of a retool, but that's not the focus right now as we head into the playoffs facing Altorn and the Rangers in the first round. This will be interesting. And that is a sweep for the New York Rangers. Oh man, absolutely embarrassed as Altorn in the first round, 6 points in 4 games against his former team. Oh, you deserve nothing but that, considering we traded him to a rival. Man, that is just brutal. But still made the playoffs, but definitely a disappointing season for Dupont and the Flyers. The Seattle Kraken are your Stanley Cup winners. The Senators making it to the finals again. The Rangers got all the way to the Eastern Conference Final. Good for them. Jacobson leading the NHL in points this season, and big trades including Matthew Schaefer to the Vancouver Canucks. Wow, that is a huge trade. But yeah. And now we're really getting to the point in here where Dupont's career is winding down. We're going to see the last few seasons of his career. Maybe like Altorn, Dupont gets a chance to move somewhere else, but he does have that full trade protection, and he seems pretty committed to the Flyers. Hasn't left them even when times gotten tough, so we'll see where his loyalties lie. But heading into the 2044 season, and Olsen is his full-time defense partner. He scored 41 points last season. He's great. So getting probably the best partner of his career so far in Olsen is huge for Dupont, and I think we could really see a great last few years of his career here. On the forward side, it's pretty weak, I'm not going to lie. We lost a few of the other guys as well. Walton's still here, but that's about it. So Dupont will have to do some heavy carrying here. But definitely still a solid team, and we'll see what they can do. Dupont, by the way, lasts 2 years of his contract, so we'll see. And we had a big trade here at the deadline as Walton is moving to the Edmonton Oilers, along with this guy who's a prospect in exchange for Desiree. Oh, so they got a player back in return. Very interesting. They get this blue elite guy who, former first overall pick, former Hart Trophy winner. Wow, I thought they were trading Walton. I was like, who the heck is this guy? But wow, that's an interesting trade. They get an elite winger, giving up their first line center. So here's how the Flyers lines shake up after that. So I guess that's good that they swapped a 90 overall player for a younger guy he's playing center. I'm not sure why. 74 faceoffs. Okay, that's not bad. But very interesting swap there. A good move, I guess. I like it. And Olsen up to a 91 as well. So let's go to the end of the season here. And it was so close, but the Flyers finished outside the playoffs on a tiebreaker to the Boston Bruins at 90 points. So close. The Oilers, by the way, were the best team in the NHL after acquiring Walton. So interesting. In terms of player stats, go to the Flyers. And yeah, Desiree, pretty interesting ad. 15 goals in 21 games. I mean, he was incredible with the Flyers. Landon Dupont, 68 points. Not the point totals of the past few years, but the Flyers are weaker. He's getting older. Still a very good season from Landon and could maybe be in some Norris votes. Olsen had a great season as well, 67, almost as many. So he'll probably take over as a #1 defenseman next year. Past that, pretty, nothing too notable there. And yeah, we'll see where Landon Dupont goes from here, as he is in the last year of his contract heading into next year. And would you look at who wins the Conn Smythe as soon as he leaves Philadelphia, and it's Walton. Oilers win the Stanley Cup, he wins the Conn Smythe. Can't script it any better than that, but he was a very good playoff performer for us, so good to see him having success. As we know, the Oilers win the Stanley Cup. Good to see Walton also take down our rivals in the Penguins. And outside of that, yeah, big trade there. And we will see what the Flyers do heading into the last year of Landon Dupont's contract. And here is how the Flyers look. They've got some interesting players here. A few guys who are a bit younger, which is good to see. But yeah, Desiree here will definitely be the new biggest part of the team, along with Dupont and Olsen, the new big forward. The rest of the forward group looks pretty weak, but the defense looks strong with Olsen now at a 91. So he will be a big part as well. Dupont still holding on there at 90 overall, and we will have to start watching if he retires, which is very interesting. But he's still got a lot of juice in him, still the number 10th overall defenseman. And yeah, we'll see how the Flyers do. Just missing out on the playoffs last year. I think they have a good chance this year. And oh my goodness, it happened. Landon Dupont has been traded as he goes at the deadline to the New York Rangers for a first-round pick. I simmed to the deadline just in case because I was thinking, there's definitely a chance. But yeah, look at this. He finishes out his Flyers career. He was on a great pace, one of the best seasons he's had in a while. So the Flyers capitalize on his value. In his Flyers career, the team that drafted him first overall, he played 1,400 games, scored over 1,200 points, was a positive in his career, which is pretty great. And I think the craziest thing of all, averaged over 28 minutes per night over his career. That is incredible. But yeah, wow, saying goodbye to the Flyers. We look at the New York Rangers right now, as he's got Ilya Ovechkin to play with. He hasn't had the same career his brother Sergei has, but still a good player here. And yeah, a definitely all-around contending team here. They're a bit of a weaker team on the right side of the defense, so that's why they brought in one of the best in Landon Dupont at the deadline here. But a really solid top 9 forward group, and his new defense partner is Cale Makar-type. Very interesting, good player here. Strong two-way defenseman who can hopefully allow Dupont to finally be the number 1 defenseman again. And yeah, we'll see how the Rangers finish off their season here. And the Rangers do make the playoffs here as they sneak into the 3rd Metro spot. Not by a lot, as Philly, 84 points. So he left for a better team for sure. Rangers 3rd in the Metro, will be playing Columbus in the 1st round. But looking at the team stats, or the player stats more, 64 points for Landon Dupont, 16 points in 19 games as a member of the New York Rangers, a plus 10 as well, so continuing his very strong season. Finished with 64 points in total, which is, that's a strong year in terms of all defensemen. Up there in age, he was probably the oldest one near the top. And yeah, up here, lots of great defensemen this year, so he didn't have too much of a chance. Olsen in Philly put up 79 points. So yeah, it makes sense that they would move on from Dupont having that new great player. But yeah, let's see how the Rangers do in the playoffs against Columbus. Dupont, first time wearing another jersey. We'll see if he can finally get that cup he's been chasing. They lose the first 3 games, but win game 4 and now need to win 4 straight here. 4-3 win in this one as the Rangers take game 5. Game 6, can they complete the reverse sweep? 5-3 win here as well. Wow. We are going to game 7. Sergei Ovechkin has to be better, but let's see if he is. And 4-2, they complete the reverse sweep. Incredible stuff. And that is a 7-game victory in the first round. How did Dupont do? I didn't really notice him on the score sheet at all. And yeah, 2 assists in 7 games, playing 32 minutes a night. Like, what is going on? He didn't have the big points, but they still got it done. A crazy reverse sweep, and we'll see if that momentum is enough to carry them even further in the playoffs. Playing the Devils in the 2nd round, and they sweep it no problem at all. I just simmed right through that one. But onto the Eastern Conference Final against the Ottawa Senators, one of the best teams in the recent NHL. Win the first game, but lose the next 3. So in Ottawa, gonna have to win game 5 here, and they don't, as Ottawa takes the Eastern Conference in 5 games, and Dupont finishes his first and maybe last postseason as a New York Ranger with 10 assists in 16 games, averaging 30 minutes a night. Not bad. Definitely disappointing. And as we get to the end of his career here, there's not that much time left. He's gonna need to really make the most of every opportunity. And we will be checking the retirement class every year because Dupont's at that age now. And is there anything? Not seeing any Landon Dupont this time. So good to see. But yeah, we'll have to be keeping an eye on the retirement class every year from now on. Dupont hasn't signed an extension with the Rangers yet, so we'll see if he makes it to day 1 of free agency. Here we are, and yep, he's not here. So for the first time in Landon Dupont's career, he will be testing the free agency market. You can see, yeah, there he is right here. I'm not going to go in because I don't want to screw anything up, but we're going to sim to the next day and see where he goes. And Landon Dupont is the newest member of the Colorado Avalanche. Wow, signing a 3-year deal at $13 million. So he's got a few more good years left in him. And yeah, we'll look at the Avalanche lineup at the start of next season, but good to see him move to the Western Conference. Ottawa wins the Stanley Cup again. They have been incredible the past few years, and they were the team that beat out the Rangers, so good to see there. Walton won the Maurice Richard in Edmonton, but look at Desiree in Philadelphia, leading with 117 points. That's good to see. Olsen as well signs that big contract, but this is a Landon Dupont sim. We're going to see how Dupont goes. Looking at the Colorado Avalanche, this is a pretty strong offensive team. You look at that top line, that is very, very strong. A very strong forward group all around, but they needed help on defense, and that's where Landon Dupont comes in. Will still be the #1 defenseman here. Chase Reed behind him. He was a rival in Seattle for a lot of those Paul Coffey trophies. Was always up there in the points. Very good player there as well. But yeah, Landon Dupont will be the #1 defenseman here on a team that needs a new goalie, but a very strong offense here. So hopefully Dupont can have one of the best seasons of his career. End of the season here, and the Avalanche were terrible. I couldn't believe how bad they were. 55 points, and probably the third worst team in the NHL. Terrible there. Dupont may be regretting. Look at this team. It can't be that bad. The goaltending must have been horrible. Oh my gosh, it was bad. But Landon Dupont, 55 points here, the lowest total of his career so far for sure, but that's not completely unexpected. Yeah, there were some decent scorers on this lineup. They just couldn't get it done. Yeah, 55 points. Not going to put him anywhere near the top here, but yeah, definitely a bit of an unfortunate situation there. Maybe he gets traded in the offseason or something. Does he have a no-move clause? He does have a no-move clause, but, you know, I don't know how long he'll want to stay in Colorado anyways. So we'll see what the rest of Dupont's career looks like. I'm very curious. Nothing for the retirement class here. We got away with it. Porter Martone retires. Would have been nice to have him on the Flyers. Albert Smits also retires as a member of the Flyers. Long-term teammates there, and long-term rival Macklin Celebrini. Man, ruined Dupont's best chance at a Stanley Cup. What a great career he had, over 2,200 points. Matthew Schaefer, another great career there as well. The Senators win the Stanley Cup again. They have been an incredible team the past few years. But yeah, nothing crazy here. But pretty rough times in Colorado, and we'll see what the team is looking like this season, or if Dupont is even still in Colorado after signing that 3-year deal. Maybe he wants out after 1 year. We'll have to see. But he's sticking it out here, and they didn't make much improvements, I'm not going to lie. Landon Dupont, 87 overall now, going down and overall a little bit at a time, but I think he still has a lot of juice left in him, and he's got a solid partner here in Lee, who's an 83 overall. The forward group, again, it looks pretty solid, but I don't think having this guy who had an 858 last year as your starting goalie is a very good strategy. But you know what? You never know. Let's go to the deadline to see if they're traded, but you never know. Maybe they'll be in a playoff spot by then. Here we are at the end of the season, and Dupont stuck it out through the deadline with the Avalanche, but I'm not really sure why, as again, they're in the basement of the NHL, third worst in the West, and fifth worst in the entire NHL. Poor. It wasn't the top end scoring, man. They had 3 almost point per game guys. Dupont had 69 points as well. He had a really solid season. Good bounce back from last season. Still playing big minutes, but you can see his game score was way better. But yeah, just not working out here in Colorado. 69 points put him somewhere up there, but not gonna even get close to Olsen, who had 99 points this year with the Philadelphia Flyers. Pretty incredible stuff. He's up to a 95 overall, so yeah, even better than Dupont ever was. Interesting. But yeah, good for the Flyers, I guess. But yeah, we'll see if Dupont decides to honor the last year of his contract, or if he's calling it a career here. Going to retirement, and no Landon Dupont yet. He's sticking it out. But hopefully the Avalanche trade him at some point during this offseason or at the next trade deadline, because I don't know why he's sticking it out here in Colorado. The Columbus Blue Jackets were the Stanley Cup winner, finally ending Ottawa's just tyranny of the Eastern Conference. Good for them. And Landon Dupont is still here in Colorado on the last year of his contract. Going to give it one more shot with this terrible team. He's 39 years old. Last year of his big contract. 69 points last year. I'd be surprised if he kept that up now at an 84 overall. But you never know. He's still going to be on the first power play. And, oh, he's not on the first power play. That sucks. But, yeah, still a decent forward group. They're going to score a lot of goals. But, no, not going to be a playoff contender, I don't think. So we'll sim to the deadline and see what happens. At the trade deadline here, and the Avalanche made some selling moves, but none of them involving Landon Dupont. So the lineup just gets weaker and weaker. They don't have a good record. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Maybe Dupont has another year in him after this then, because I don't see him ending his career like this. But Unfortunate. And there's the season over with, as the Avalanche are again in the basement of the Western Conference and the basement of the NHL. I mean 21st place, not the basement, but not great in terms of player stats. Shepherd was good again. Landon Dupont has 71 points though. As an 84 overall, putting up 71 points on this terrible Colorado team. Very impressive. Still at an 84 overall, so he still got it. In terms of league-wide defensive scoring, he's not that far off, man. Olsen with 98 points again, but he's more than 70 points. Very impressive from Landon. And if he does decide to continue his career, he will be a very valuable piece to a contending team. And going to retirement here, and Landon Dupont is sticking it out for one more year, so he will probably hit free agency, I assume, and we will see where his Stanley Cup chase takes him next. July 2nd, and Dupont's new team is the Seattle Kraken. Wow, let's go take a look at how their lineup is looking, staying in the West for the last few years of his career. And they have Randall here, but he will be a solid defenseman on this team. Again, a bit of a weaker team, but they have a good goaltender this time, which is great to see, a great goaltender. So hopefully they can be, somewhat a contender in the Pacific Division. I was kind of hoping he would go to one of the better teams in the NHL, but whatever. The Toronto Maple Leafs were your Stanley Cup winner. Finally get it done. Oh, it's because they have Sergei Ovechkin. That's why. But yeah, look at this Flyers team. Just an absolute stud. Now that Landon Dupont has left, I don't know. He should have gone back to where the team drafted him, man. He should have gone back to the Flyers. That would have been so cool. But anyways, he's going to stick it out with the Kraken. I don't know. Maybe he's, as an older player, he, wants to go to rebuilding teams, teach the young guys. But definitely unfortunate to see him not chasing a Stanley Cup, but maybe he can elevate this Kraken team enough to be a true contender. But let's look at the lines. He's playing on the second defensive pair, down to an 80 overall. That's not unexpected. Signed for 2 years, so maybe he has another year in him after this one. But yeah, still a strong player, still good passing and all that, and he'll put up points. But the forward core is not very good here. The defensemen are... The goaltending will have to be definitely carrying them pretty hard. So we'll see how this season goes. My hopes are not high, but you never know. No trades for Landon Dupont at the deadline here. He stays with the Seattle Kraken. They continue to sell, so they are even worse now. Yeah, this team is bad, man. Oh, man, I hope he has another year in him and plays on a different team. But anyways, let's get to the end of this year. And the Kraken end the season outside the playoff race by a long shot, 67 points. And as one of the worst teams in the NHL, while the Flyers put up 130. Let's look at this lineup really quickly. Oh, man. He can still play on that team, too. Missing out. But anyways, for the team stats for Seattle, Landon Dupont puts up 32. I mean, you can't really expect more than that this late into his career. He's still handling 23 minutes a night at the age of 40. He's been such a trooper. Up there in the games played all time in the NHL. We'll check out all those numbers as well. But yeah, unfortunate they couldn't get it done for him. Hopefully they move him at the deadline, or maybe he retires. We'll have to see. And the Philadelphia Flyers are the Stanley Cup champion. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's a fitting way to end his career, and it's not. Wow, Landon Dupont has one more year in him. Still going to honor the last year of his contract. I can't say I would do the same, but I respect it. Yeah, like I said, the Flyers go and win the Stanley Cup. 67 goals for Desiree or whatever. The 2 leading scorers in the NHL. Man, Dupont would still be killing it on this team. I already know. But we'll see how he does in likely his final NHL year with the Seattle Kraken and hopefully some other teams as well. I want him to get moved at the deadline. Oh man, and to add insult to injury, down to a 76 overall, Landon Dupont will be playing this season down in the AHL with Coachella Valley with the minor league affiliate on a third pair as well. Ooh, that's rough. So Landon Dupont's NHL career is likely over. Let's sim to the end of the season where he has to retire. No way he doesn't retire this time. And yeah, let's take a look at what will likely be the end of his career. And I don't know how this is possible, but Landon Dupont is not retiring. Apparently going to test free agency at the ripe overall of like 69. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, Dupont's year in the AHL. Oh man, where is it? Search him up real quick. And yeah, he's 76 He actually, oh no, he didn't get any games in, but he had 35 points in 49 games with Coachella Valley. Pretty solid for an AHL defenseman playing on the third pair. He definitely, he was okay, but yeah, unfortunate there. But let's sim to next season and see where in the world Landon Dupont will end up. Maybe he's playing on another AHL team. Maybe he's playing over in Europe. I don't know, but he's clearly loves hockey. He's not winning much, but he's playing to the age of like 43. Gotta give it to him. He loves the game of hockey, and maybe we'll see him in a management career or something like this. Maple Leafs ended up winning the cup, if anyone cares. Flyers, still a good team, man. Still a good team. Wish we were still out there. And in the 2051 season, Landon Dupont decided to join the Edmonton Oilers organization and will be helping some of their young players down here. Oh, they're not even young players, but he'll be helping down with the AHL affiliate down here. 72 overall. Can't imagine he'll be playing too much. Played a game in the ECHL. Not sure why that happened. But yeah, he'll be, playing in the AHL here. We'll see how the year goes for him. Flyers win the Stanley Cup again. I simulated the season from their perspective, and man, they just ran through the NHL, and it made me sad. Made me think of how Landon Dupont could have been there. But we go to retirement, and there he is. Landon Dupont retiring. He had a pretty good season in the AHL for Bakersfield, but definitely will be remembered most as a Flyer. We'll count up his career stats in a moment, but as for now, we are going to retire his number 9 with the Philadelphia Flyers. I think that's valid. Had a long career here. What do you have? Over 1,200 points, I think. Incredible career. And yeah, he will be definitely remembered first as a Philadelphia Flyer. But man, look at this lineup in Philadelphia. What an incredible top 6 finally. They got this guy, 141 points and 77 goals. Valentine, 134 points. Olsen putting up 100 point seasons as a defenseman. Oh, makes me sad. But anyways, so he retired at the age of 43, which is incredible. You look at the awards here, and I didn't really mention this, but the HLM does have an all-star team every year, and he was an 11-time all-star. Very impressive. Also, after a while, I didn't really go into the World Cup, but he was on most of those teams and was a 3-time World Cup champion, 3-time Paul Coffey Trophy as the best offensive defenseman in the NHL, 1-time Calder winner in that incredible first season he had, Adam Oates Trophy winner 1 time, and also a 1-time James Norris Trophy winner. Peak overall of 94, which he maintained for many years. He was very consistent in that time. Drafted first overall by the Flyers in 2027, sat a year out, which most players don't do, but he was the trailblazer, and it paid off as he won the Calder and the Paul Coffey Trophy the next year. Had a long career with Flyers. I'll total up all the numbers at the end, but his best season being, I thought you could order by points. But his best season was 92 points with the Flyers, and then bounced around with a few different teams at the end of his career. Never won that Stanley Cup, but got into Game 7 overtime, so close. And in his trades, he was traded for a first-round pick who became a Red Elite goalie. That's pretty good. 8th overall pick. Good for them. But yeah, only traded once. Spent a few games in New York, a few games in Colorado, a few games in Seattle, but was always, willing to be a good player on the team, always willing to, help lower in the lineup later in his career to help with the young guys. And yeah, definitely a guy who loves hockey, played till the age of 43. He loves hockey. And we'll definitely could have a management career or something like that. I'll tally up all his totals at the end and do a nice graphic for his career overview. But before I do that, there's one thing I want to do. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting until he is eligible for the Hall of Fame. This is one of the coolest features in HLM. So you look at the class of 2053, Liam Pugh, guys who haven't been drafted like Chase Reed, Gavin McKenna, Matthew Schaefer, and Celebrity. It's so cool. You can see obviously the obvious names like Kucherov, Gretzky, they're all here. But this guy, Jonas Malin, undrafted actually, but he had a great career with the Sharks and the Penguins, and won a couple Vezina trophies, and now he's a Hall of Famer. And it's just so cool. You can go we're in 2050 on EA NHL. You can't even go to there, but you can go into the 3000s if you want to, and you're always interested by all these stories that you get. See here, Porter Martone ended up being a Hall of Famer. Oh, that's unfortunate. Not unfortunate, but I'll know that for future career simulations, because I think I want to do a few more on here. It's actually quite fun, and I think doing it on here is better than EA NHL, because, you know, for Landon Dupont, sometimes he doesn't even retire by the end of like a 25-year franchise mode. So it's cool to see how his career goes, how his teams fare after, and you just get so many more stats and little tidbits with this. I think it's a lot of fun. I have a lot more fun doing it, but yeah, let me know down in the comments if you prefer this or EA NHL. And Landon Dupont is eligible this year, easily had the most points out of any eligible player, so we will of course be nominating him and then voting him. Other than that, Michael Hage, I don't know, I don't really care. But Landon Dupont is a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer there. You can see his crazy stat lines, 17 awards, 5 gold, as he won the 2 World Juniors as well. But what a career from Landon Dupont. Now let's wrap it all up. Alright, and here we are with the full wrap-up for Landon Dupont's career sim. Nothing too crazy, I just have the stats on the side there. As you can see, definitely played the most games with the Flyers, left the biggest impact, and that's why his number 9 is retired with the Philadelphia Flyers, which is pretty cool. In terms of NHL records, he finished a lot higher than I thought he would in a lot of them. 8th in games played, 6th in assists, and 40th in points. Very, very strong. In Flyers records, this was another one where I thought didn't know how high he would be because it's such a historical franchise, but 1st in games played, 23rd in goals, 1st in assists, and 1st in points. I was shocked he was 1st in points, 10th in penalty minutes as well. In terms of playoffs, he was 9th in playoff games played, 2nd in playoffs assist, and 5th in playoff points, all with Flyers, by the way, not all NHL history. Very good playoff numbers if you look over at the Flyers part of it. In 95 games, had 93 points, so he was a very strong playoff player. In the first round, as we kind of saw, he didn't really go that deep very often, and when he did, I thought he was a little bit disappointing, but anyways. In terms of his career achievements, his resume, 1st overall pick in 2027, a 3-time World Junior Championship, which is very important, a 2-time World Cup Championship, 11-time NHL All-Star, a Calder Trophy winner, 3-time Paul Coffey, 1-time Adam Oates, 1-time James Norris. So a very strong career here from Landon Dupont. Bounced around with a few teams at the end, but is definitely a Flyer for life and played until the age of 43. Probably would have, gone further into management, into scouting, stuff like that. So very cool career from Landon Dupont, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Hockey Legacy Manager versus EA NHL, which one you prefer. I think I prefer HLM just because not only is it easier to record, but I feel like you get access to so much more stats. And they're so easy to see. Like, you guys could have seen all these stats on the right side super easily. But anyways, let me know if you think Dupont's career will be better or worse than this. Let me know down in the comments, and thank you all for watching. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you all in the next one.